Manchester United's pre-season tour is here, and while on the surface it looks like your standard set of warm-up fixtures and a little bit of running, I expect there will be some surprises in store from Stockholm to the States, all the way back to Old Trafford. The summer's not just about match fitness, it's about signals, it's about attitude, it's about seeing who's really up for the challenge and who's going to drag the club out of the shadow of that awful season that we had last year. So in this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through 5 surprising things that I expect on tour. I'm going to give some predictions, but knowing the way this all works, maybe none of them come off. And yes, I will be in America for the 3 matches that are out there. I will be vlogging it, and if you would like to come and check out all of those, then all you got to do is hit the subscribe button and come and join me while I am doing those. And if you would like a little bit more, you want to get into the inner circle, you want to get the true behind the scenes, not just of what goes on here, but with IRL, with the Stephen Howson podcast, which is due to launch next week, and all of the fitness things. Check out the Patreon, link for that, and the inner circle is down below. We are targeting over 1,000 in the next few weeks, and we are aiming to get to 10,000 strong in there, in which case it will have its entire own content ecosystem. So for less than the price of a pint, literally not even the price of a bottle anymore, I might have to put that up. So if you want to get in before we do, click the Patreon link in the description. Now, that being said, before a ball has been kicked, let's have a look at what the 5 things that I expect to happen on tour, or surprising things I expect to happen on tour. Number 1, I think United are going to start the tour stronger than usual, and I expect us to hit the ground running, not stumble through the first couple of games like we've seen too many times before. Why? Because I think Ruben Amorim is treating this properly. He's not treating this tour like a holiday. From what we've seen, the way the players have come back and some of the glimpses that we've seen from training, it's intense. He's already made major calls. We are going to be leaving behind big, high-profile players. There's going to be fringe names that get axed. There's a desire to sell half a dozen players. This tour is his chance to stamp out some authority, or to stamp in some authority. So unlike previous years, the first few games, a little bit of a glorified training session. I think the way Ruben Amorim wants us to play, especially when it starts to get off leads in Stockholm, I expect there to be needle. I expect there to be intensity from the get-go. It's his first full pre-season with the squad. Hopefully it's not his last, and if he wants it to not be his last, it needs to be legit from the get-go. There is pressure, there is pride on the line, but intensity will win the day. So I think United are going to come into it strong. You got to remember, we're coming into this without a ton of injuries. Martinez is still working his way back to fitness, but outside of him, there's not a ton of injuries. We haven't had an international tournament which has disrupted all the different sort of player availabilities. I think the players look sharp, they look lean, and I think we're going to hit the ground quite hard. It is hot as balls. I know you know this. We're all feeling it right now. And if you've ever sat through a hot day with an overgrown undercarriage, you know it's not just the weather that's going to get sweaty. Luckily, the good folks at Manscape have dropped the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra, and it's this slick, white-hot edition that is finally available across the UK, Europe, and Australia. It's the same top-tier trimming that's been used by over 12 million lads globally. Now it is available in this crispy, hot, white gold finish that just looks as sharp as it trims. Let's be honest, this isn't just about looking pretty on your bathroom shelf. The Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra is designed to handle your business downstairs. No nicks, no awkward red patches, no drama, just a smooth, safe trim where it absolutely counts. And whether you're refreshing before a big night, heading off on holiday, I just want to feel a little bit more like a bloke that's got his life together, this little beast gets the job done. Use the code Howson, that is HOWSON, at manscape.com for 15% off your entire order. Go and treat your bits better. Nobody likes a mid-trim mishap. One rogue move and you're walking funny for a week. No, we're not having that. That's where Manscaped's skin-safe technology comes in to help build for those oopsie moments. We don't need that. The blades don't tug, they don't pull, they just glide over your skin like a dream. None of that raw, sandpapery aftermath that you get with the dodgy clippers down the high street. It's simple, there's no fuss, there's no 14-step skincare routine afterwards. You just grab it, tidy it up, and crack on with your day. You can use it in the shower, by the sink, or even when you're packing for your trip. It's compact, it's powerful, and it's not something that you'll be embarrassed to bring along with you. The white and gold finish looks the bollocks. It's white hot looks, it's silky smooth results. The Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra brings the heat without roasting the balls. Go to manscape.com, use the code Howson, that's Howson, get 15% off your entire order. That's Howson for 15% off. Stay cool, stay smooth, and leave the burns to the sun. Number 2. This one's a bit of a controversial one, and it probably raises some eyebrows. I think he's going to ditch the back three in pre-season. Let me explain. The back three is his signature. Yes, we know that, and at Sporting, it worked absolutely perfectly. But right now, I think Manchester United need adaptability. I know we've got the personnel, and we're signing the personnel that can play in this 3-4-2-1, 3-4-3 sort of system. But I thought we saw very early in his Manchester United career that he wanted to be adaptable, and he abandoned that. I think he goes back to that. And while the club are chasing signings, while the club are chasing people who can play the right stuff, I think having a second formation that the lads know how to play is a massive, massive bonus for us. So I think he's going to experiment early, because I think it also puts a little bit of doubt into your opposition mind. If our first game of the season, everybody knows how we're going to play, then it's very easy to prepare for us. If in pre-season you show multiple ways of playing, and actually you tell people the formation's not what we're focusing on here today, what we're focusing on is shape and how we transition between the formations, you can still practice the correct way to play without having lined up in the correct formation. But what it does do is it means that your opposition, when it comes back to Premier League times, don't have a fucking clue how to scout you, and they can't sit there with such confidence and say, this is how they're going to play against us, because they have to then devote some sort of a resource to the second way that you might play. And then they don't know the reasons behind why you would have the second option to play. I think it hints at adaptability. I think it's very intelligent. Well, we saw it at Sporting, not week in, week out, but it was adaptability that won the day for him. He wants adaptable players, and I think he wants to be adaptable. And I think his ability to be able to adjust the shape based on what works rather than forcing a system could be a real early win for us. I think it'll be a bit of a surprise, but one that I think would show that he's been learning and that we're going to come into the season a lot more serious than we were last season. Number 3, a fringe player will explode onto the scene. Someone has been doing absolute Rocky montages in their basement getting ready for this, and I'm backing it to happen. One player that's kind of gone from I'm not 100% sure on him, whether that was what we used to see every single preseason with Andreas Pereira, or even what we saw with Kobe Mainoo before his breakthrough. I think there's something you're going to see it again. Someone where you go, do you know what? He's really gone up in my estimation here. And I think it'll be one of the obvious kids, sadly. I think it'll be Toby Collier. I think he impressed in the few games that we saw of him last season. He's good on the ball. He's got composure. I think he's positionally aware, and I think he plays with a bit of intensity about him. I think Collier's going to be the one that surprises everyone, not just with his maturity, but his intensity and his quality. And I think he's going to put himself right in the shop window for being someone that's regular playing for United. A lot of people are expecting it to be Cheeto, especially because of how poor Rasmus Højlund is, or was, or is. I like Cheeto. I think he is better than Rasmus Højlund in terms of the runs that he makes, but there's so much more to your game than just runs. And I think he's probably better than Rasmus Højlund, but he's still not good enough to lead the line for Manchester United. So, all of those big names that are likely going, your Sanchos, your Rashfords, blah, 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 blah. I think there'll be a lot of youngsters taken on the tour. I think the likes of Jack Fletcher could surprise. I wouldn't mind seeing a bit more of Tyler Fredrickson. He could really surprise and force his way into a starting lineup, especially with how many options there are at centre-half. But I've just got a sneaky suspicion it's going to be Toby Collier. Number 4, the atmosphere in Atlanta will be the best of the lot. Of all the matches on tour, New York, Chicago, there'll be big crowds in all of those. I feel like Atlanta's going to steal the show. That stadium is an absolute monster. It's got a retractable roof, big capacity, 360 halo, the works. It's a World Cup venue. And I think Atlanta has got a real football/soccer culture going on. Atlanta United, it goes off. And I think they're going to bring some of that to Manchester United game that happens there as well. Atlanta United pulling huge numbers. They're a noisy crowd. They bring some atmosphere. It's not actually that corporate, which I've seen in quite a lot of the places that I've been in America. It's quite energetic, and I think that is going to bring it. United and Everton, quite a spicy, Northwest derby, even if it's a pre-season game. I think that stadium, that crowd, that's the one. I think that's going to feel like a Premier League game, and I think it's going to be the best atmosphere. I think the energy is going to be really unreal. I can't wait. I can't wait to see the stadium, because stadium's outrageous. Like, I was very excited to go to SoFi last year. I'm very excited to check out Atlanta United's Mercedes-Benz Stadium this year. And number 5, David De Gea is going to get a proper farewell. So let's end on something a little bit of a positive and a bit sentimental. United's final pre-season match is against Fiorentina at Old Trafford, and there's a very high chance that David De Gea will be in goal for them. And after over a decade of loyal service, our 4-time Player of the Year with 545 appearances, David De Gea didn't really get a farewell. And that's been a common thing under the likes of Woodward. They didn't really get a farewell. So if he starts the match, I think you see a standing ovation from the Stretford end, probably some shirt swapping. I think he would play with. There's quite a few actually that played with him, still isn't there? Maybe even a bit of a post-match laugh of appreciation. But it is an overdue farewell done properly. And I think that sort of stuff matters. You know, it's small, it's insignificant in the grand scheme of things. And yes, United have moved on. But anyone that puts a shirt on 500 times for you deserves some closure, deserves recognition. And I think deserves to be given a proper send-off. So yeah, I think in a tour where you're hoping to see some tactics, some intensity, some transfers, some auditions from the youngsters, I think the final thing that we will see is a bit of an emotional farewell to close out the loop on the career that is David De Gea with Fiorentina when they come for that game at Old Trafford. So there you go. There's the 5 things that I am sort of expecting on tour that might catch you by surprise. Let's see how it all unfolds, and maybe we get a glimpse of something special that helps us believe again, because belief is lacking at the moment, isn't it? Like I said at the top of the show, if you are new, make sure to subscribe for all of the stuff on tour. I fly out there on Monday. Can't wait to get stuck into it. And if you would like to get involved in Inner Circle and support the channel, then we've got some very big things planned. Check the Patreon link in the description below, and I will see you over there. Laters. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, 5-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.